You know, the ironic thing about this is that it was evidently it was coming, and we automatically knew that this was going to happen to one of our black babies here in New Iberia. Now, there never, when I seen the spokesperson as being Lieutenant Green, Louis Ackle, and I have to keep my composure. Louis Ackle evidently just gave Mr. Lieutenant Green as being the spokesperson because of him being an African American. But before that, it was this other white boy who was the spokesperson that always got up and say this, this, this. Now, we also had where this police department, it was disbanded, several years ago. And Ackle, who is the new sheriff, he wind up bringing some of the same criminals from the previous administration, which is somewhat ludicrous. The lines are loaded. We're going to go to the lines. You have a question or a comment? You're on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I was just calling. I watched the Community Defender and all the programs on AOC.
Okay.
So I mean, I see it from week to week,
Oh.
and I don't know if people around the world, man, and especially in this community, are aware of the offshoot of the Nation of Islam. Kind of had split a few years ago when Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, that is not our topic, and you automatically know you need to stay focusing on the topic. I'm not talking to you about the Islam. I'm not talking to you about Minister Farrakhan. You just, if you can't stay with the topic, then you don't even need to call here. Just turn your channels. All right, now, Mr. White, back to you, sir. So the arrest. What was your son arrested for?
Right. Well, at this point, I still don't know because when I called to find, well, actually, I didn't call. I went down and attempted to see what was he arrested for, and I was told again that he wasn't. First thing I said, he wasn't charged with anything. So I asked, well, how could he have been detained or
Yes, sir.
anything, a process, or why were you processing him if he wasn't arrested? And I was told he wasn't. He wasn't charged with anything. So, and as of right now, we still don't know. What really, because like I said, the article says that he was involved in a fight, and we know that's not true because I looked at the video, so that's not true. Then they say, well, if it was marijuana, okay, well, I know he wouldn't be shooting himself in the back, even if they did say they have marijuana on, but why would he shoot himself in the back for marijuana?
Right, and just them saying marijuana with New Iberia Police Department having a horrific record like they have, I personally, and they know who I am, I personally took pictures of them planting some marijuana under a van. And, as of today, I still have those pictures, but it just goes to show you that they are known for hiding things. They have officers that have stolen. They have officers that have a male officer took and hit a female officer when they were out on a gathering right downtown in New Iberia. So they don't have no good record. And Tisha, what you had wanted to say, B?
It's just frustrating, it's 3 months in and still no closure, no answers to any questions. He was number 6 of 9, and the family is no longer complete. Just in answer to anything, just tell us something. But no response is just horrifying for the family. It makes it, detrimental for each one of us. And we just want answers. That's it. Some type of response to let us know that we know what we know, and that's that he did not kill himself. He did not shoot himself. It's
Correct.
not in him. Just tell us, why. Why? And that answer probably won't be good enough, but just why.
Yes. And of course, the ones that was involved in the murder, because you have to be careful with the type of words you say.
Right.
Well, he's dead. So somebody killed him. He didn't kill himself. So it actually is the murder of Victor White III. Caller, you have a question or a comment?
Yes, ma'am. I'd just like to be able to speak.
Well, look, if you're not talking on the topic, we're
Okay,
not.
I'll speak on the topic. I feel really bad that if this boy was killed, hello?
Yes, young man.
Yeah, I feel really bad, man.
Okay, go ahead.
This boy was killed unjustly. I mean, that is wrong. That is a police crime.
Yes, it
You know,
is.
the police are, can be criminals too. People don't understand that. I understand that sometimes they make mistakes. A lot of times they're violent, vicious.
Yes, they are.
I would like to know the whole history of exactly what happened to him. If he came down from Alexandria and went to New Iberia to do a little partying or whatever he was down there for, and he got killed unjustly, I'd like to hear the whole story.
Okay,
Hello?
well, yes, yes, well,
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I want you to understand that, I don't think this is a question of black on white crime or white on black crime. I think it's the police department was unprofessional in what they did. I want to know exactly what happened. I mean,
And-
like I said, policemen can be criminals too.
yes, they can.
It's, a matter of, I
Yeah,
tried to talk to you a while ago about, public defender. I watch him all the time, and I identify with a lot of what he says. Believe it or not, even though I'm white, man. I don't
Okay.
think it's white or black injustice.
no, it's not, and
I mean, I don't count it as that.
Right. Right.
If something is going wrong about, a white person's family had some wrong against them, I feel the same way as I did about a black person's family. That, was not treated in the just way that they should in this United States of America. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to understand.
Okay, well then, sir, once I'm gonna hang up again, and then you could listen to Mr. White.
I sure will. I want to hear exactly what happened.
Yeah, and he has stated
And
what
look,
had happened.
New Iberia has had a really history of racism in the police department. So, I understand and I, sympathize with them. And let me tell you something. They nothing worse than losing your children, man.
Yes,
So,
and
white or black, man.
Right.
Or Chinese or Mexican or,
yes,
Filipino, man.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, I understand that, man. We all people, man.
Yeah.
We're a member of one race, man, the human race.
yes, okay, all right.
I just, thank you, man.
Yes, you're welcome. And also, narcotics agent Chad Hazelwood Jr. He was caught using the computer to access. Let me take my time to access files while he was off duty, and he was charged and sentenced. That's the same Chad Hazelwood Jr. who is 280 pounds. I think he's about 200. He's about 300 pounds now. But that's the same officer that beat the living daylight out of a young teenage girl named Deshauna Mallory out of New Iberia, Louisiana. I just had to throw that in because that's all coming from New Iberia. Go ahead, Mr. White.
Yes, ma'am. I even heard the call. They said that my son was coming down to the party. Where my son was not coming to New Iberia party. He was living in New Iberia. My son was working at the Waffle House. My son had received tax money, so therefore my son was doing his civic duty and paying taxes while there. And like I said, he wasn't partying in New Iberia. He was living in New Iberia. He had a 6-month-old daughter at the time. He had a girlfriend, so therefore he was doing what he needed to do to attempt to set his life straight. Because again, he was 22 years old.
Yes.
So and he understood what he needed to do. As my daughter said, as my oldest daughter said, that I have 9 kids, and he was my youngest son. The youngest son, I have 5 daughters, and I have 3 sons left. And they were raised, I say we trained them in the way that they're supposed to go, and he was trained, and so therefore I trained my kids to respect authority, regardless of whether you agree with it or disagree with it. My job as your father is when they're not of age. My job as your father is you go out on and you agree with what they say, then I'll come and I'll clean it up. See, I'm here, and I would do that, and I raised my kids like that. And today he would done the same thing. That's why he told Isaiah, say, call my daddy. He's called my dad if we're going to get him something. So I know he wasn't going, when they say become uncooperative, he wouldn't have done that, because the thing is that if they'd have called me, I was driving from Alexandria to New Iberia if I was in New York. And therefore they know, hey, if something go wrong, we call daddy, and I'm coming. I'm coming, because the thing is, you don't disrespect whether a police officer, whatever they do, you still say yes, sir, to them, regardless, whatever. Then we'll come and we'll fix it up. But at that time, you don't create a problem, but yet and still, you don't let anybody walk over you, step all over. Now you got your rights. Understand your rights and live within those rights. And when anything goes, so that's why it's very difficult for me to believe that my son became uncooperative or when he was placed in the back of a police car. So.
And also, Reverend Brown, out of New Orleans, Louisiana. I had asked him to call in, and he was at work, and he said he was going to try to call in. And we want to thank Reverend Brown,
Yes,
of
indeed.
course, for his diligent work on behalf of the community. Also, Tony Brown out of Alexandria, with eyes on the.
Eyes open with Tony Brown.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
we definitely want to
Oh,
thank them.
yes.
Of course, this is a live call-in. You could call us at 337-366-8951. Of course, I'm your host, Sister Khadijah, and of course, we're here with Mr. Victor White Sr. and of course, Lakeisha also. And from what I understand too, Mr. White, your son had almost $1,100 on him, or
Yes, said between $800 to $1,200 actually on him.
okay.
See, because I know the vehicle, he was getting ready to purchase the vehicle. We want to look at it. That was Sunday morning when I spoke to him about purchasing. He had just test drove the vehicle, and then here Monday, actually, 2 weeks later, after that's when we went down to Broken Arrow Road to get his the personal possession that they had of it.
Yes.
And like I said, at first they told the attorney they only had like $91, maybe 60 cents or something like that. And I told the attorney, well, no, I know better than that because I spoke with him on the phone. I know in the beginning he had between about $1,200 in the beginning, like I said. But I know at that moment, at that time, at that morning, he may have had $800 because he was looking at the car test drove the vehicle.
Okay.
And so then when the attorney called the Berry Parish Sheriff Department and talked to someone there, and like I said, when I got there, mysteriously there was two $100 bills appeared up in his wallet.
Okay, okay. And so we automatically know where the rest of the money went and everything. Evidently, they stole it. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And of course, we have another caller. Caller, you wanted to state something?
Yes, a very interesting show. Again, I want to thank Mr. Best, for giving you guys that time,
Oh, yes.
Sister Jamila. Listen, this case is very important. We can't help but overemphasize the importance of this case because it speaks volumes to what's happening to young black males around the country. So we have to take this case not for the simple sake of publicity, but we have to take it for the future of a lot of young black males. And we could tonight, and I'm glad you guys are focusing on the subject matter, the issue with Victor White, police brutality, not talking about black-on-black crime or anything, poverty or education, the simple case of what happened to Victor White. We have to be focused on that. I want people to know who's listening to this show that being part of the media operation with Reverend Brown, no less than several national news organizations are interested in this story, and we need the national news people down here to open the door to get to the heart of what happened to young Victor White, because it speaks volumes. Because I have kids too on Father's Day. I want to say that, and he has my sympathy. The Carl Nelson show with Kathy Hughes, the sister that owns all the TV One and all the black radio stations across the East Coast, they're interested. The Tom Joyner morning show, News One, they're interested, and they did something on it. Your Black World did it with Dr. Boyce Watkins. All the national, even Keith Beaucamp, the producer of the investigative channel on the ID channel, he's interested. He says stay with it. So I want to give you that encouragement, Mr. White, that a lot of national news sources are looking at this case. We need to open up the door because, and I know you would say it too. I know you want some justice for your son, but it's bigger than us, all of us, even young Victor White. It speaks volumes for everybody to get some justice. And I appreciate you sacrificing the whole issue of your son, Mr. White, and bringing that story out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And he had a young baby.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
daughters are actually 2 weeks apart.
What? And what's her name? What's their name?
Ariana and my daughter's Journey.
Oh, this is completely horrific. We are here with a live show, Voices of African American, and it's what happened to Victor White III, who was killed by the New Iberia Police Department. And the telephone number to call us is 337-366-8951, 337-366-8951. Now, Mr. Victor, what else that the community can try to do? From what I understand, there is an autopsy that has to,
Yes, we're working on independent autopsy, and again, we have a GoFundMe account set up, and also we have an account set up at the Mid-South Bank, which is a local bank in this area as well. And again, we have the independent autopsy. We have experts that we're looking at actually
Okay.
to help us. Because again, we're not saying that they're not going to do the right thing. It's just that New Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department, along with the Louisiana State Troopers, investigators, they tend to agree most of the time with that. So as has been said before, as I did research and as I take a look into all these things, that they in this area actually had not been an officer convicted, or either none of those that have happened. With the tasing in the Winfield case that has been brought up, the Fifth Circuit, Supreme Court has sent it back to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. So, and either way, but my son is speaking on him. In this situation, is that regardless of whose son it was, it just happened to be mine. At this point, it just happened to be mine. And if it wasn't, I'll speak out regardless of whose child it was, because again, as I said, I treat substance abuse and mental health.
okay.
And I've been doing that for about 23 years. And so I see a lot of kids come in, yet and still, and it doesn't matter the color. Skin color makes no difference to me because it's somebody's child.
Yeah.
And it was my child this time.
And yes, indeed, and Lakeisha, the overall tragedy to the family, it's virtually impossible that for siblings to continue to try to like go on. What is it that you all are trying to do to help with the strength?
Call each other daily.
Yeah, call each other
constant
daily.
Communication, whether it's, a phone call, a text message, a Facebook comment. I've even gotten to the point where I'll drive and go, just to look at them, or, it's just to hear a voice and okay, they're okay, or just to have a response from their phone number, okay, they're okay. It's just hard. It's hard because I still look at messages from the last time with Lil Vic. I remember the conversation in my hospital room when he was waiting to go up and see his baby. We all seemed holidays are the worst because he was the clown. He was the clown.
You light up a room.
And it's just that spirit is missed, but the memories are what we hold on to.
Yeah, he could light up a room. When he entered the room, he was in the room. And so, regardless, like I said, all the kids with the sense of humor he was, and they growing up, like I said, I raised all my kids real close. They were raised. Even my oldest couldn't go without taking the rest of them. They said, that's how strict I was. Well, if you going to the mall, take every one of them with you to the mall, especially if you're driving my vehicle. So, if you're going, and he was the one that, like I said, he would come, and he and his mother with my wife. We asked people to continue to pray for my wife and strengthen her because again, it's 90 days, and they were close, actually, real close. He would, they would talk daily as well, like I said, but he would call us both, but that God strengthens her. But I just say that we know there's something wrong. I know there's something there, and just thinking about it, and on this day, as I said, on this day, on Father's Day, on holidays, he's truly missed, but there's an emptiness that has occurred that cannot, at this point, is still there and is fresh.
Yes.
It's fresh because there is no closure. I mean, we were told by the coroner that it may take 3 to 4 weeks, and now it's been 3 months. That's what I was told in the hospital. It take 3 to 4 weeks. The report would be out. He said the forensic evidence would be back. They were sending it to Lake Charles. According to him, that the evidence go to Lake Charles, give them about 3 to 4 weeks. It will be back, and then they will give us some answers. And it is 3 months later, and they're still saying that the coroner had not completed his report. So we don't have a cause of death, really. All we have is them alleging that he shot himself as the cause of death. And when I called the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department and the victim advocacy, and I can't remember the individual name, it may have been Terrod, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Terrod, and I spoke to her, and she said that but since my son killed himself, there was no assistance that they could provide for us. And then the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department has a reparations portion, And then so she said, well, they were in some kind of a seminar, a workshop together. And so she went to speak to her. I said, well, ma'am, trust me. She said, until somebody's been charged, if they don't charge the IBA Parish Sheriff's Department, then they'll know where that they could help our sisters anyway. I said, well, he was in your custody. I don't understand why you couldn't. Y'all had him in your custody.
Yes.
You know he died in your custody, so why y'all can't? Well, he hasn't been charged with nothing until we get something, go to the D and he's charged, and there's no assistance that we could provide for y'all.
And, who is the lead investigator on the case?
Miss Katie Monette of the Louisiana State Troopers.
Okay.
And then I know, I just can't remember her supervisor was Lieutenant Trahan. Like I said, when I seen him, they didn't give us any answers as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, it's a hard show to do because the loss of one of our loved ones, and of course we have the family members that are here. The telephone number is 337-366-8951, and we're trying to find out what happened to Victor White III. And I think it's really good that that the fight that you're continuously going on with the fight, it doesn't matter. I mean, we've got to find out the truth because we automatically know and believe deep down inside that, he didn't kill himself.
All right.
You know.
Yes, and that's why I say we really we thank Reverend Brown of the National Network. Now, we really there's over Tony Brown. There's another rally we're preparing this time, hopefully in October, maybe the 4th week in October, coming to Lafayette.
Okay, it's going to be in
Lafayette. Hopefully we come to Lafayette around about the 4th, maybe the 4th Saturday in October. We don't get any results up here that we may not, from where it's going at this point, since they're saying that nothing has been concluded. Well, we're going to let them know again, as I said, there wasn't any public outcry. There's a public outcry.
Oh, yes.
And, we cry daily. They may not say a public outcry. We cry daily. The public may not see, but we cry daily because of a piece of me, a part of me has been taken away. And I know that it wasn't justified in regards to how they twisted, turned it, or try to make it appear. My son did not shoot himself, and they know, and I know, and that's why I say so. We're giving them the opportunity. We're giving them the opportunity to do what they need to do and take as long as they want to take, because like I said, any other cases, it doesn't really take that long. And they see, and I know they got the same thing that we've seen, so therefore it's up to them to come forward with the truth. And the silence, the code of silence that they have in IBA Parish Sheriff's Department, that code of silence, it may work, but if y'all have a conscience, someone's seen it, someone's there, you watched it, you participated in it, one thing is for sure, that God is not asleep. He sees all, he will reveal it, and it's going to come to fruition. So, you may as well come forward now. Therefore, wrong is wrong, even if I'm the one guilty of it. So therefore, a life has been taken unjustly, and you witness it, and so therefore, maybe you ought to have a conscience and come true and tell the truth.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And of course, our topic is what happened to Victor White III, and it's a live segment. You could call us in at 337-366-8951. And of course, we have Lakeisha Hickman here, and of course, Dad himself. And we're just trying to find out, to try to get an outcry from the public. If you know of anything or you know any way that you could help us out, please do so. There is a fund, Mr. White, that you stated. How do you get in touch? How can someone get in touch with you on that?
Right. Well, they can even give me a call. My daughter, I'm actually handling the part of the GoFundMe.
Okay.
It's actually, the GoFundMe account is www.gofundme.com/7DUCTK. And we also have an account set up with the Mid-South Bank, the Victor White III Defense Fund. You can also make a donation there as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And of course, the telephone number is area code 337-366-8951. And I did hear Reverend Brown on the national radio, and he was speaking about what had happened. And the callers were calling in like back to back, because I tried to call in, I couldn't get in. And, they was like saying, well, this happened in New Jersey, this happened in Pennsylvania. I mean, just back and back and back. And it's not a shock anymore because it's happening so often.
Yes, it is. That was Carl Nelson, right? That was a Carl Nelson
Okay.
show. And right, we was trying to get myself tuned in, but we had it was a miscommunication. So
Okay.
they're going to have me back on. I'll be talking with them tomorrow. They're going to reschedule so that we actually be back on, myself and Reverend Brown. But yes, it was that, and they did. I understand it was great. As I said, that it was just difficulty with me getting the number. That's what had happened with it.
Yes, yes, sir. Well,
But,
yeah. Well, of course, that is the idea. Please continue to do whatever needs to be done so that, we could get some type of closure. And the police officer, do you know who is the police officer that actually arrested him?
No, I don't. That's why I said they're not releasing that information on one of the articles. So I didn't write it down, but I did have on one of the articles. They showed that his supervisor, made the statement. That they're standing behind what the officer said. And but my comment to that is that if the officer is wrong, why would you stand behind it? Because your job is to protect and serve you. You have to protect and serve you from yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. And you hear how arrogant they are.
Oh yes.
They are very arrogant. Like Louis Ackle himself, he came out on the news media, and he stated, "Well, that's a lie. If anybody's saying that my officers hit anybody, that's a lie." He didn't come out and do anything really professional, like saying, "Well, it's under investigation. I'll get back in touch with you once I'm clear." He just came out, "That's a lie, and my officers didn't hit nobody." Then this DVD wind up being on YouTube, where you see his officer hitting and kicking and beating this young person. So he didn't come out and recant it because he has too much power. But that's the arrogance of the police department, is just like that.
Yes, while researching handcuffed, they was handcuffed and beat the guy handcuffed, hit the daughter during the sugarcane festival. Right, but yet and still they don't hit. As I said, we know because I lived there. I lived there and I watched them when they had the biker boys ride down, take their baton, knock people off the street, push them off the road, on the side of the road where they're walking, didn't have sidewalk, so where else did they expect them to walk? But yet
That's
and still,
right.
when they rode down there, so like I said, so they got their own name, the Alka Thugs, and so,
Yep.
and evidently he supported because he hadn't come out to discount it.
That's exactly correct. And as of today, I still have the hand grenades. I still have the hand grenades that they had when they threw on that innocent crowd, over 500 people, and not one officer went to jail behind that. So it just lets you know that this is what you're dealing with. But when you have faith, we believe in God, we believe in Allah, we believe in the right thing. Something else has to give.
Oh yes, and as I said, we as a people, we need to rise up against injustice, period. Regardless of where it's at, injustice is injustice no matter where it's at, and so therefore we should be the ones talking about it. We should be in the forefront and telling the individuals that, guess what, we're not going to support injustice, but we will rise up against it. So as I said, it doesn't matter. We all need to come together. Everyone needs to stand for it, because it's my son now. It could be someone else's son, which was someone else's son before it was mine.
That's
and it's going to be
correct.
someone else's son after mine. So therefore, but if we stand up and stand together, unite, and let them see that we're all united, we all one against injustice, then we'll make a difference. So that's why we'll stand up here at Sheriff's Department. Regardless, it's not going anywhere. Because trust me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, I won't sleep. I will not rest until my son, justice for Vic, until my son, we prove that my son didn't kill himself.
Oh, yes, indeed. It's going to get proven. Carla, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, the more I listen, the more I'm so horrified, and I'm just so sad, and we just keep hearing the same stuff over and over. I just can't sit here no more and just listen and not call. I want to bring you to remember, or your remembrance, a young man in a town in Louisiana, Winnie, Louisiana, south of Monroe. The young man that was tased to death, handcuffed in a police car, was handcuffed behind his back. Everybody keeps telling you, "Oh, we're waiting for the coroner's report." Listen, I don't believe in nothing these people say. We know, and you're right, sir. We should all be outraged when we see this going on. I don't care who you are. You should be outraged by this, every last one of us. But it made me think of this young man in Winnie, Louisiana. The coroner report came out to say that the police officer had tased this young man 4 or 5 times. He was dead. The coroner's report said that the police officer continued to tase him 4 more times after the fact that he was dead. They took this police officer to trial, and the jury found him not guilty. So, man, don't put your hopes in justice in this system. You know, in the long run, somebody knows what occurred. My question is, they can find this little bit of marijuana in your son's pocket, supposedly. Did you ever ask his friend, did he have a weapon on him? How did they miss a gun? But yeah, they're going to find a little bit of marijuana in his pocket, but you're going to miss a bulging big steel weapon in his pocket or in his pants. How you miss that, but you're going to find this little bit of marijuana? See, all this stuff troubles me. How are you going to do that? You're going to find the marijuana, you handcuff him behind his back, and you put him in the car, and he shoots himself in the car? I mean, did his friend say he had a gun? His friend says no, he didn't have a weapon, right? I mean, he didn't have a weapon on him, so where's the gun? Where did the gun come from? See, all this troubles me. This is all, just remember, Winnie, Louisiana. This young man was tased 9 times. The coroner said that this young man was tased to death, that this young man was murdered. He went to trial, the police officer, and the jury found him not guilty. I hope it doesn't work out that way for you, sir. And I'm so sad and sorry for you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes.
I definitely appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. And where is the gun? Where is the alleged gun?
Oh, even what caliber gun was it?
Yeah, that's a
What
good one.
caliber gun was it? Where the gun? Where did the gun come from? They searched him twice, according to the friend that was sitting right there. They searched him twice. Searched him once when they found supposed marijuana, whatever they found. Then they searched him again before they placed him in the back of the police cruiser. You know, and the last thing he seen my son sitting in the back and telling him to call his father. You know, so I don't see him becoming uncooperative according to them. That when they got that process, and why would he become uncooperative?
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct.
There's no reason. There's no reason. Like I said, that's the thing that, and I can't rest well because of the simple fact is that I know my son didn't kill himself, and sometimes at night I have to sit and I think and I wonder, why would individuals that are sworn to protect and serve us have a sworn duty to make sure that you're safe from yourself, safe from society. And a matter of fact, I mean, I know they'll want to check them to protect themselves. I mean, make sure nothing happens to them. See, so I that's why I said that I just can't see it. And 90 days later, we're still saying that we have no answer. 90 days later, there's no report, no actual cause of death. But what they're putting out there, and they continue to say all over the website, is from the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department that they're sticking with that he killed himself. He committed suicide.
And still the gun itself, evidently that's in their hands. There's a serial number on that gun. That gun is registered to someone, and they could actually find out who it is.
And not only they said they ballooned both my son's hands and the sheriff deputies as if that they don't know how to cover that up. But so we're supposed to trust in that, and the system is already broken. I'll be a parish sheriff's department. The system itself is already broken. So why would they want us to trust in them believe that they did the right thing before they turned it over to the state troopers investigators? So again, if that's what they're expecting us to believe, then I can say, well, you know what, I don't. But yet and still, we give you the opportunity. So y'all can make that right. You can let people trust or begin with us and have the trust come with us. Because what really happened, let it come forward. Because my son cannot say what really happened because he's dead. But the officers that were there are officers that witness it. They can come forward and tell the truth.
Yeah, they sure can. They sure can. And what we're saying is that we know that not all police officers are bad, no good, and rotten. We just hope to find the one or two that's not. That's what we hope to find out, someone that would come out and say exactly what actually happened. And of course, you're listening live, you're looking live with what happened to Victor White III, and of course we have Victor White the Sr., and we have Lakeisha Hickman, his oldest sister that's there. And we just trying to find out questions and keep the awareness in the public. Nobody could, you've met a good bit of people around here that have come out and have always spoken against corruption in NIPD, New Iberia Police Department.
Yes, ma'am, and I applaud y'all. I mean, we've come down. I thank you all for the rally that was held on the 7th down in New Iberia, for those individuals come out and support us. Also, those individuals that's on the website that are giving us encouraging words, saying that they're praying for us. Sister Khadija, we definitely appreciate all of you all, NAACP down here in the Lafayette area. Sister
Yes,
Broussard.
yeah, Margie
We
Broussard.
appreciate you all. Again, Reverend Brown, Eyes Open with Tony Brown, On
Yeah.
Point Talk with Colette Christmas. There are folks, we have, again, the Carl Nelson, that show. So therefore, also Rip 'em Up, we believe in those. I really appreciated that they are supporting our family, and that it is an outpouring of support. And yet and still, the New Iberia Sheriff's Department say that, Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department say that there's no public outcry. Evidently they walking around with blinders on.
Oh yeah, they definitely walking around with blinders on. And to be honest about it, there's always been protests against New Iberia Police Department throughout the years. As a matter of fact, we've done several shows with family members that have came out and say, well, this is what they done to us, this is how they do it. And it doesn't matter if you're a young girl, a young boy, it don't matter to them. I mean, they have no professionalism with them because they just go and just do what they want to do, and they cover up and lie. And I have the picture when they was planting some marijuana under a van, not realizing that the van was my van, and I'm taking pictures because I'm always alert when it comes down to police officers.
And, like I said, I mean, not all officers are corrupt because
No,
again, I work well with them.
Okay.
I work well with them. Like I said, I did some work with Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department on the city of Bear. They had the grant down there. Again, I called the Hopkins Street project, and Louis Alcott himself made the statement he didn't understand why they would have a police substation on Hopkins Street right down from the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department, when in fact we were doing mentoring programs down there. We were doing tutoring programs there, myself, ISIS, with Miss Sylvia Davis.
Okay.
Then we had the Spiritual Leadership Coalition with Pastor Darren Sofer, David Jones.
Yes,
And so, like I said, I worked down well with them, and and we were doing some things in the community to make a difference. And again, they decided it was going in a different direction, according to the sheriff at that point when Louis Alcott got his first term in office. And like I said, I was there. So it's not that I didn't work well, or not that I'm saying all cops are bad, because not all cops are bad, but you do have some bad cops. And so that's what I'm saying. And like I said, the same thing in the area where I'm from. I've always worked well with them. As I said, I'm a professional counsel when it comes down to transporting them, when it comes down to communicating with sheriffs, deputies, then, that's a part of what I do daily. So, no, but I just see, I just see this one, and it's an atrocity. And yet and still at the same time, it disturbs me. I'm angered by it. And yet and still, I'm not getting any rest because of the fact that there's no closure, and they're sitting on it, even though I know that they can come forward and give us the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, and of course, we're asking if anybody could help out in any means. If it's some information that you have, if you know who the officers are. I mean, you could give us a call. I mean, I would love to say their names on any particular airwaves. And of course, the telephone number is 337-366-8951. Now, from what I understand, Reverend Brown was supposed to call in. Mr. Tony Brown was supposed to call in, and evidently they were on different jobs and everything. But you stated that there is another protest that's going to be coming out.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to rally in our tentative date to be the 4th Saturday in October, pending, again, we were talking about the report, but we're tentatively scheduling it for the 4th Saturday in the month of October. Yes, it is. Also, I'll throw my phone number out there because I don't mind either. My phone number is 318-730-9757. I mean, as I said, we encourage in words whatever type of support. If we have like I said, we have the account set up. We have the GoFundMe account. If anyone wants to help us, support us, as I said, if it is just an encouraging word or your prayers. Also, we are, most of myself as well as my kids, we are Facebook, my kids Twitter account. So therefore, believe me, social media, Victor White 3rd, we all there. So I mean, his account is still up. So again, we are getting all kind of messages from Twitter. We're getting the kind of messages Facebook. But we're encouraging you all to continue. We appreciate it because we're not going anywhere. This situation is not going anywhere, and it's just we want to make sure that we send a clear message that my son was the untimely death of my son is not going unnoticed, nor are we going to let it go away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, we had an array of family members that came out and everything. And of course, we want to thank them for coming out and continuously showing their support. I mean, if you have to scream at the top of a mountain and talk to whoever, that's how I would feel. That's how I would be doing it. And of course, the telephone number is 337-366-8951. And we're just trying to give the public information about the tragic murder of Victor White III. And the account that you had mentioned?
We have the Mid-South Bank account, Victor White III Defense Fund, where you can make a donation there. We also have the GoFundMe account, www.gofundme.com/7DUCTK. And you can also make a donation there.
Yes, and even if it's to get some of the musicians involved, because the musicians, I mean, they bring a crowd. Even if we could get them involved and doing something together where the proceeds would go directly to help out, I mean, that could be something that we could kind of try to think about, because you have so many good musicians here. You know, the Lil Folly, Connie Garrett, Tucker, Giorgio. We just have an array of good artists here and everything, and we need to do something. We need to do something. So the telephone number is 337-366-8951 to call us if you want to have like a comment. We have like the closing minutes of the show. We have maybe about 4 minutes left, and of course we want to thank everybody for participating, and of course we wanted to the family members. If any of the family members want to come on in our closing minutes, if y'all want to come on in our closing minutes, y'all can do so. Or if not, yes indeed. Or if not, like they're gonna notice that. Or if not, then we want to thank the listening audience for giving us a chance to come to them. Of course, thank Voices of African American, John Best, and of course Jamila Setmet, and of God is New for giving us the opportunity to do the show. And yes, indeed. In closing, Mr. White, in closing, what would you like to say?
Well, once again, I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank Community Defender. I'd like to thank all of those that are supporting Brother Brown and Sister Deborah. We sure appreciate them for allowing us to come on and again to tell the story. Also, Sister Khadija, we appreciate you all for giving us the voice. Brother Carlos, we really thank you all. And as I said, I'm so grateful. I'm so truly grateful that words cannot really express what is going on, because again, without you all, this opportunity would not be available. So we're truly grateful. And as you see, my other daughters behind me, that's Latoya, as well as my youngest daughter, Precious. And like I say, we're all affected. And so we thank you all. And we again want to put on notice that no matter what goes on, it is an injustice.
Yes, indeed. And don't forget, it's the GoFundMe.com/. 7
DUCTK.
DUC?
TK.
TK, okay. Mid-South, 337-342-8427.
That's account number 342-8427.
Okay, account number is 342-8427 and everything. And so we definitely want to thank everybody for coming out, and please, we got to go ahead and stick together no matter what. All of the entities that's been coming together, the NAACP, Mr. Brown out in Reverend Brown out in New Orleans, Louisiana. Of course, Tony Brown out in Alexandria, Louisiana. And what's Tony's show?
So Eyes Open with Tony Brown, 88.1. So we got Eyes Open with Tony Brown. We got the same thing, 88.1 On Point Talk. We call that Christmas, Days of Christmas. So we really appreciate all of them down in the Alexandria area. We really appreciate the outpouring of support. But I will say this, that we're getting more support down in the Lafayette and New Iberia than we are in central Louisiana. But yeah, like I said, my son was born, and therefore we are from Alexander, Louisiana, born and raised in Alexander, Louisiana. And so, but again, I really thank you all down here because we very little support, media support. I put that very little media support, even the coverage of what has happened to my son. And but here we see that it is strong, and we'll continue. We thank you all. There's no way that we continue. Thank you. Now.
And yes, indeed, the show will be available. This show will be available immediately on YouTube. Just Google in Victor White AOC, and it will be, you will be able to see this show as many times, and of course pass on the link to as many people as possible, because we need to be able to get closure here, no matter what. And Mr. White, you talk so eloquently, and I know had it been me, I'd have been using so many 4-letter words and the 2-letter word, 3-letter word, and stuff like that. And of course, you are a man of God.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm pastor Harmony Missionary Baptist Church in Alexander, Louisiana. I've been pastoring for 10 years. I did, like I said, we all have a past, and we all are used to be. And so, and I tell my kids, I had to set an example for them, because I was one of those that would say those words at one point in time. But here now, I find that my grandmother used to say, you catch more flies with honey than you do sugar. So I tend to lean that way, and to lead by example, so that my sons can see that you can actually say what you mean what you say, but at the same time, you don't have to be violent with it, and you don't have to be very disrespectful. The other way to tell someone something, be respectful, and at the same time, you don't have to accept being disrespected.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we want to thank the listening audience, and of course for all the calls. We really appreciate it. And of course, this show will air numerous of times again on your local AOC station. And of course, we are out of here, and we want to thank everybody that participated. And of course, you know how to get in touch with Victor White, or you could look up Brother Jay or myself, and we'll get you in touch with Mr. Victor White. And thank you so very much. And we want to thank our crew, Brother Shahid, Brother Jay, and all of them for helping us with this set.